I'm Myke Shrews,
And I'm Tivis,
and you're listening to
the Munster Cast.
episode 89, dudes. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the Munster Cast, the podcast where we watch and talk about the Munsters. I'm, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and friend, Tivis. So, Tivis, please tell the world, how you doing today, dude?
Oh, all right. My internet's a bit spotty today, but we'll make it through this, hopefully. It's free comic book day, so I'm excited, and I got to go get my blood work done.
Woo-hoo.
Busy day.
Woo-hoo. Yeah. Just so everybody knows, we were not here last week due to Mother's Day. So
yeah, it was Mother's Day here in the States. I know it's different around the world, but
yeah. So definitely thank you guys for still sticking around and everything like that. Real quick, let's dive into some quick dirty business because I am tired today. I decided to wear a bucket hat to hide some of the tiredness.
How much sleep did you get this time?
Not even gonna talk about it.
Did you get sleep this time?
Not even.
Oh,
Not
still
even.
water.
You know when your alarm goes off right when you finally start to like doze off and get some good sleep? That was
almost me.
I was so annoyed. I was like, man, just like 5 more hours.
Did you go to the drive-in with my family?
No. I want to go back to a drive-in, dude. I really do. Anyways, real quick, the dirty business guys. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter via the Munster Cast. Twitter is mostly bot stuff. I barely get on there. I just don't really dive on the Twitter much anymore. Every time I was diving on my feed, it was always some bull crap. So I was just like, I'm good. Anyways,
from my phone.
You can also see our pretty ugly faces every Munster Monday via youtube.com/@TheMunsterCast. And apparently it's only Munster Monday when we do an episode. So just so you guys know, it's not always Munster Monday. Definitely do that, guys. You can also check us out on the MunsterCast.com website. What you got?
There was some weird feedback on my end, but you're good.
Okay. You can also swing over to the MunsterCast.com and check out our lovely website over there, guys. While you're there, you can also press the little microphone icon on the right-hand side of the screen and leave us a quick voice message that'll get you on the podcast the fastest way possible. And you can also just, let us know if you want it played on the podcast or not at the very end of your message. You can also click the store tab, or you can just go over to the MunsterCast.com/merch and get an awesome MunsterCast shirt. They're not all like MunsterCast branded, so they don't all say our name on it. So you can definitely enjoy and take advantage of some cool shirts out there. Original and made specifically for y'all out there, guys. If you want to get on the show, you want to do anything like that, you can always email us at themunstercast@outlook.com. You can tell us your Munster stories there. You can do whatever the heck you want as long as it's Munster related, please. And then let us know how we're doing if you want there or anything else. Tivis, what else we got today, dude?
We have a Patreon. As always, it's mostly just a tip jar. Where, you want to help us monetarily, we would greatly appreciate it. Podcasting, not cheap, but strenuous times, we understand. Don't give anything you wouldn't miss. Absolutely. And if you can't, that's perfectly fine. Other ways you can support the show is leaving us a review on any podcatcher that allows you to, thumbs up on YouTube. Leave comments about what you think of the show, things you like, things you don't like. We love the feedback. It helps us improve. We've taken some of it and switched up our format. If you've been listening the entire time we've been doing this, you would see that. But also sharing the show with people, telling a friend, family, random stranger as you're waiting in line for comics, whatever.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Oh, yeah. And dude, I just want to tell everybody out there that does podcasting as well. never ever sit down and figure out how much you're actually spending on a show a year.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I
what
do
else
have
you
one
got?
more shout out.
Okay.
We are helping sponsor the Comic Geek Speaks 20th anniversary
Mhm.
next March 29th, and they're going to be shouting us out for the next year. So I'm just going to return the favor right now.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, dude. Yeah. I know you listen to them a lot more than I have, but I do listen. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we had
Good
Ian
show
on
over
our
there.
other show.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Which is the Operation Babel show, which we haven't done since July or August, something like that.
Yeah,
We
something like
did a
that.
random alive episode. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, you can also go over to the munstercast.com/stickermule10, get $10 credit onto your first order there, guys. We also do get a little kickback. We get a $10 credit added to our account. You guys can just go over there, get a bunch of awesome stuff made up. Stickers, tape, all keychains, all that fun stuff. It is where we got our keychains made up that we are giving out, by the way, still to those who purchase a shirt from our website and post us or tag us in a post with the shirt, whether you're wearing the shirt or the shirt's just hanging around your Munster merch. So don't forget about that, guys. I know we haven't been talking about that the last few episodes, but we are still doing that. We still have a few keychains left and everything. So definitely buy a shirt, post it, and we'll send you a keychain. We'll reach out to you through social media or whatever it is and send you a keychain that way. All right. Yes, Tivis, you're showing it, but Tivis's internet is very, very spotty today, guys. So if you are watching the video version,
Yeah, I look like
all
shit.
right. So what are we talking about today, dude?
But what's new? Gateman and Son.
We,
This is season 2, episode 12, 107th episode overall. Again, I still haven't checked my math. Myke, if I'm wrong, correct me. This aired January 27th, 1990. This was written by Brian Joseph, who we last saw It's a Sad, Sad World. And this is his 5th out of 8, I believe. Yeah, 8.
okay.
Directed by Bonnie Franklin, who is pretty much the Ezra Stone of this series.
Okay.
We got 2 guests this week.
Also, don't forget, it's the very first episode in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, we're finally in the 90s. We are 10 months from me being born.
I am now going on 4 years old.
Let's see. Our first guest this week was Andrew Bloch as Mr. Gateman.
Awesome.
Andrew's first credit listed here because, can't always trust it.
Mm-hmm.
1975, playing Jake in Abduction. He went on to play 2 characters in MASH. Let's see. He was in Taxi for an episode. That's cool. I'm doing this on the fly because I wasn't able to jot this down yesterday at work. Sorry, Myke.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Conspiracy, the trial of Chicago 8. There's one for you. He was the assistant mayor in that. Big Man on Campus.
Oh no,
I
I guarantee you I've seen him in stuff. Like as I was watching,
definitely.
I was like, oh yeah.
21 Jump Street.
The show, correct?
Yes, for our one episode. Judging Amy, the Drew Carey Show. He was a waiter. And his most recent credit was in 2013 as a doctor in a New York Heartbeat.
Mm.
Our next. Go ahead.
So on IMDb, I noticed that in the season 2 stuff, this is a top rated episode on here.
I can see why, but we'll get into
For
that.
the Munsters Today. It's got a 5.8 out of 10 or whatever it is. I guess it's their rating for IMDb. There's a moth in my office. That's
I
annoying
just
me.
saw that.
Now there's no more moth. The vampire butterflies. They are vampire
Oh,
butterflies, by the way, guys. They are. They literally turn to dust when you kill them.
I'm pretty sure
Anyways.
butterflies do too. You just don't kill them that often.
Sorry, PETA.
Screw those people. They don't care about animals.
I'm gonna get knocked on
Yeah. Do they have
YouTube
any
because I
reviews?
killed something on camera.
Check
Oh,
to
it's
see
on
if
my
there are any
desk,
reviews for
man.
this one while I do the second best. We got Mosey Dryer as Lance Gateman. Moosie? How you pronounce this guy's name? Moosie.
Moosey?
Moosie. All right. Well,
Probably moose.
his first acting credit was as Hank in The Keepers, and they don't really list a date for that one. Let's see, going through his stuff, the war between men and women. Oh, he was on 2 episodes of Lassie. You know, the next show we're going to be talking about, right, Myke?
Oh yeah.
All 30,000 seasons of it.
Never.
Little House on the Prairie. There's a show I haven't heard in a long time.
We'll watch that one.
The Bob Newhart. I don't know about that. Rainbow. Here's Boomer. That looks interesting. Like a dog. He was on Chips.
Just so you're aware, there are no reviews on here. They're just star ratings that people gave, but nothing. Yeah.
The A-Team. Kids Incorporated Rock the New Year. That's a crazy title.
You can rate up to 10 stars on IMDb. This is ridiculous.
Here's interesting.
What's up?
He's going to be returning in season 3 as a different character.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. Jack and Jill, not the Adam Sandler movie that I actually enjoy.
This is the gentleman who played the son, right?
Yep, Lance.
Who played Lance? Yeah.
The last thing he's got is 2018 Next Gen as an additional voice actor.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, he's got there's a lot of things on here. Different Strokes. I know them. 18, yeah. There's a lot of stuff on here that sounds interesting that I've never seen before. So that's another fun thing about checking these people's CV is, finding new shows to watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And seeing different stuff that they're in, different ways that they acted, especially from this show too. I mean, shit, how much stuff of Jason's did we watch before we even watched the show?
Oh yeah.
Marsden, for people who don't know, the guy who plays Eddie. Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. Anything else?
Nothing else stuck out to me, but listeners, as always, I encourage you to go check it out yourself and see if there's anything that catches your eye.
Awesome. Sausage. All right. So is it the time?
I think it's the time.
The time. It's synopsis time. There you go, internet.
Be better if I didn't hit my mic while you're doing
It's synopsis time. Gateman and Son, which aired January 27th, 1990, as Tivis previously stated.
I did.
On this episode of The Munsters Today, Herman's weekly side quest leads him to the possibility of a promotion that promises wealth and power. But when the promotion demands he become a surrogate father, Herman's world is turned upside down as he grapples with his unexpected twist of fate. Tensions within his family ignite, while Lily finds herself broken from a clean commode and a neat bird cage and faces a critical decision. Will she defy expectations by crafting a headdress of parrot feathers? Meanwhile, Eddie is growing into his own and becoming a perverse vermin, confessing his voodoo love. Will Grandpa's desperate bid to reclaim his seat set off a chain of events that could end in sinking his teeth? Or will he retreat to his quarantined lab? Will Marilyn smack a fool, or like the women of old, retreat to her inner soul and take the comments from a womanizer, thus setting off a generational curse that will last decades, if not longer. And for Herman, the road to success is fraught with uncertainty as he grapples with the choice between ambition and his family's well being. Will Herman achieve the success he craves, or will he be stuck shoveling his way through life? In the world where darkness lurks around every corner, will the prisoners run rampant, or will an 11-year separation finally come to a halt, bringing family fear to family cheer? And of course, will chaos ensue? Find out this week on The Munsters Today. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to explain a couple of those while we talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah. Marilyn would definitely choose the bear. So, shall we dive into this?
Shall we? We shall.
All right. So we open with Grandpa in his favorite chair. Herman and Lily are on the couch. Lily is passed out on Herman. And Herman is so pleased. He never thought he would see a 7-part program on the culture, history of Burbank. And Grandpa's like, the wonders of, or isn't cable wonderful? I'm sorry. Just, dude, I can't tell if he's being sarcastic, groggy because he was there for so long, or actually, being sincere. It's could be a mixture, honestly. But as he gets up, the doorbell rings. The noise wakes Lily up. Who's at the door, Myke?
It is Mr. Bald Man. I mean, Gate Man. This guy does not look like Mr. Gateman in any other iteration that we've ever seen.
No, this guy would be like mafia.
I don't like this guy. I'm just gonna put it out there right away.
Supposed to like him.
I just don't like him. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Don't like him.
So they all go. Okay. So they all out to greet him, and he gets right to the point. Herman, you're a family man. Herman's like, yeah, I got one wife, one son, one niece. Well, also a father-in-law, or don't forget your father-in-law. Herman, amazing line here. Trying to
do it.
Which is
I did
crazy. Go ahead.
Before that line though, I did like that the fact that they actually finally established that in the show Marilyn is their niece again. Because it was confusing for a minute with how things were being said and treating. So yeah. But anyways, this line is freaking awesome because yes.
It is, but it kind of feels out of place because I don't feel like they have as much back and forth. I mean, we've seen it in the last few episodes, but I don't feel like it's been earned yet as much as the original show. Does that make sense?
Yeah. As much as the original show for sure. But it's still funny.
Yeah. I mean, they've definitely leaned more into that aspect this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know if 11 episodes is enough precedent.
I mean, maybe. Come on, nowadays, some shows only last 13 episodes, so 11 episodes has to be the most.
Yeah. Oh, I hate the shorter format. I'm sorry, people in the UK, but us adapting your shorter seasons just to save some production money. Give me back the 22, 24 episodes.
You can't even keep up with the stuff now, right? So it doesn't matter.
I'm nearly caught up on all my shows.
Instead of getting 24, 25 episodes of a show nowadays, we get 2 separate shows and we get like 8 to 12 episodes. Or 2 separate shows in general, not just like 2 separate seasons.
Unless you're a Marvel, and then it's basically 6 episodes, and then screw it. It's either not enough or too much.
It's just a longer movie. Anyway.
It is. So, Mr. Gateman, we know you're a family man too. He's, ex-family man now that the wife is no longer with me. Oh, how did she go? In the Ferrari. She wanted in the divorce. She took everything from him, even his 17-year-old son. He's in Chino. And they're like, the prison? No, the suburb. His mom's in Chino too. And Lily's the
the
suburb, right?
suburb.
No, the prison.
But
And
she works there as a guard.
yeah, I was gonna say that is weird because Chino is a pure prison for men.
Don't
But
discriminate
anyway,
against the guard hires. This is why some, unfortunately, female guards are a thing, but in the past and probably still today, they do get used, we will say, because I'm not allowed to say the other word on the internet. But
why you gotta say it like that?
Because you got to make it sound like it's not such a bad thing on the internet for some damn reason. It's very annoying.
Okay,
The R
I'm glad you
word,
clarified.
people. The R
Yes.
word that sounds like grape. There we go.
I'm glad you clarified because the tone didn't match the severity.
No,
Uh,
I saw something last night, and it was just like everything. It was about the dude from Nickelodeon, how he's suing the company because of his alleged abuse. Exactly, but that's all they kept saying was abuse. They blocked out the other word that said sexual.
Yeah.
And I was very annoyed with that. I was like, well, you're just taking away from the actual impact of that.
The independent news circuit on YouTube, like the legitimate ones, not the crazy fuckers.
Mhm.
Oh, I swore. Uh, they have such a hard time reporting on anything serious because YouTube will suppress, tell them to take it down.
Well,
They
yeah.
have to black out any kind of like quotes they use. It's insanity. It's like
They
the
won't even
world
let them.
sucks. People are,
It's getting ridiculous because, like I said, you can't even say like grape without the G and stuff now because they're like, oh no, you can't say that. We're gonna ban your videos and all this crap. I'm like, that's literally that word has a deeper impact than just abuse. It
well,
just does, and
the
that
stupid
should.
policy says, "Oh, you're promoting bad." No, no, you're not. You're going to upset the viewers. That's the point. You
It's
should
not.
feel upset.
I'm not upsetting the viewers. I didn't commit the crime. I am just telling about the crime.
Well, I think it's more for people who also went through it, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, but still,
man, I keep
even they
hitting the
don't want
mic. I'm sorry.
the people that went through it don't want to minimize the impact. I would feel
Yeah,
to the rest of the world. Anyways, this is so
we
off
are
topic.
way off topic. That has nothing to do with anything here. Anyway,
It
his
might come
son is
up later.
maybe,
Just so
yeah.
you
His son Lance is coming to visit, and
Yeah.
Lily, are you thrilled to see him? He's like, well, I haven't seen him in like 9 years, so I'm more nervous.
His
I'm like, dude,
17-year-old son too.
9 years? No wonder your wife left you.
Well, I think his wife left him the 9 years ago.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. There's some more revealed about him that as we go.
At least that
Herman is,
specific wife.
yeah, Herman is shocked to hear this. What the hell have you been doing? Well, I've been spending my years building up my mortuary empire so that when I take my headquarters to plot 26, he has
Mhm.
some, or I have something to leave behind for the kid. And Lily calls him a very considerate man. And no, I'm going to disagree right there. Like, no, it is nice to work so that you can do stuff for your family. But I'm going to tell you right now, the time you miss out on with them is going to hurt a lot worse than being able to afford stuff later on.
Yeah.
So don't
So
don't waste all your time trying to have the good life. Instead, create the good life. Get the memories.
Yeah. So I do want to bring up another thing like I did before with the numbers and stuff. He says plot 26, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So the spirituality 26 spiritually
Ooh.
meaning and
Okay,
stuff.
yeah, let's do this.
The angel number 26 is an encouragement to bring more balance into your life and to make sure you haven't been neglecting certain areas.
Okay, that's twice now. That's a really strange coincidence.
Uh yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool for this one
Yeah.
because it's a lot of neglect going on in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really. The, what other episode? Do you remember what other episode had the number? I wonder if it's the same writer.
It was episode. Can I just search it?
Maybe.
It was episode 9, season 2, episode 9, the melting pot.
So it wasn't him, because his
No.
only other episode was a sad, sad world.
Gotcha.
That's just crazy, though. The world's full of coincidences.
There's no such thing as a coincidence when it comes to writing.
That's not true, and you know it. And a lot of people try and take credit for coincidences.
Yeah.
So, look, yeah, just spend time with your family.
So
Yeah,
Mr.
go ahead.
Gateman's talking to Herman now about his son coming, right?
Yeah, he's a great, one great son. Did you have the note about what he had to send to his mom?
I'm trying to see in my notes where I'm at.
Sure.
Oh, right here.
I had to send his mom a few $1,000 to bail him out. Herman interrupts and hold on. What do you want? What does this have to do with me? Why are you here?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm going to give you a chance to prove your leadership qualities and become a foreman. Starting Monday, you have to take my son and whip him into shape. And Grandpa's like, what, is he scheduled to go in front of a parole board? No, nothing like that. Herman, come over here for an aside.
Yeah.
And they have this right next to Grandpa. I don't know why he thinks this is a private conversation, but he's like, look, my bachelor pad is no place to raise a young boy, all right? How do I explain my mirrored ceiling and revolving bed? The face on Grandpa, he wishes he was not close enough to hear this.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to ask, how long have you been single? Because I'm getting the sense there are multiple reasons why your family have ditched you. But
Oh, there we are.
I'm
trying to find myself in my notes. Sorry, guys.
Aren't we all trying to find ourselves?
Like, I know on the camera it looks like I'm just like looking off into nothingness, but I promise you, there's other monitors over here.
Yeah, he's got a fancier setup than I do. I need more monitors. All right, the important thing he needs
More
most
monitors,
is
more problems.
one thing I can't give him: a wholesome environment of a normal family like yours. And Grandpa's like, uh-oh. Just like when his coworkers around, he knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Herman's like, oh, same script or same script writer. No wonder Grandpa does the exact same thing.
From last time when his other
The sad world. Yeah, that's when. What was his name? Willie Walter.
Willie the conspiracy lover.
Willie the sad sack. Yeah, I just loved that whole. I know where this is going. It's exactly the same as when Willie was going to stay with him. So Herman's like, well, how long?
Oh my God.
We don't even know him. He was like, "Don't worry about it. He's not going to steal your silverware or his TV set. He's bonded now." Grub's bonded. They will have to. We're gonna have to find a room for him. He's like, "Oh, just stick him in the basement." I was like, "Well, we need to get him a cot." And Grandpa's like, "Let's just get him a bale of hay and a bowl of water." Gateman's like, "There's an idea." Then he pulls out a wad of cash. He's like, "Don't even worry about feeding him. Just send him to Taco Bell." And Herman's like, "No, no, no, no. Stop. We'll be glad to have your kid. Just stop."
Yeah, we don't need to
It-
feed him like dog food or worse than dog food. Taco Bell. I know you love Taco Bell, but that's still it is worse than dog food, dude. Don't you can't deny it.
Gateman's like, "I'm gonna stop by a couple of nights for dinner just to see how things are going." Yeah. "So long, Foreman Munster." And Grandpa says it sounds more like Warden Munster.
Warden Munster. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're getting dumped with this kid from this guy. He makes it sound like, hey, I just need. It's kind of like that one show we brought up a few weeks, maybe like couple months ago now, with the. I don't even know if we were talking about it on this show. I might have been in text, but the scared straight kind of not scared straight, but world's strictest parents. Is something going on?
I don't know. I thought I heard a big thud in my house. Anyways.
The ghost has passed on to you. Yeah, I believe I was telling you about that show where they send problematic children to go live with very strict farm parents.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
remember what it was called, but yeah.
World's strictest parents, I believe.
Oh yeah, because you were trying to tell me I could be on the show and be the parent that the kids come and live with.
No,
Yeah.
I said you're not that, but you called yourself strict, and I'm not. You're not that levels of strict.
Oh. I get called Nazi dad by other guys.
I was gonna say, I hope I'm not your sons.
No. Come on, they know better to stay in line. Respect your
dude.
Führer.
Growing up, I had a buddy whose dad well, it was his stepdad first, but he told him that he had to drink 8 cups of water a day, like had to.
Yeah.
He told him he had to get out of the house. He locked the door on him so he couldn't even come and use the bathroom. And he said he had to be home by the time the street lights are on, or else.
Or else what?
I'm like, I know that's how, our grandparents were. We left the house, didn't come back till sundown, but locking the door is kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. A little messed up.
No. Anyway, so Herman comes in with Lance now.
Is that a new age person or that was older that did that?
It was when we were kids. So,
when we were kids? Okay.
Yeah. So someone our parents' age.
I mean, if my parents locked me out, I'd just break the basement window and get in. That's literally, we did that. Not when our parents locked us out, but when our brothers locked us out.
Anyway. Granted, my buddy's life is pretty put together. He went to school for architecture and is now teaching dance out in Philly. So,
but is he happy?
I think so. It's been we've been meaning to stop out there and see him, but
discipline is good, as we'll find out in this show. Like, and it's not even all just discipline within what we're like about to watch.
Correction.
Here. Yeah. It's correction, correcting behavior.
Yes,
for sure.
So, yeah. Herman introduces Lance to his wife. Lance throws his bag without even looking at Herman, which was a nice touch. Herman, I didn't know you robbed the cradle, which is funny because it's established Lily is older than Herman.
Yeah. He's like, you make Elvira look like a pit bull.
Yeah.
And I want to point out, Lance looks way older than 17 here.
Okay, I forgot his age until the very end.
Yeah, he looks like he's like a 25-year-old dude, if not older.
And for the record, Pitbull's adorable.
So is Elvira.
And she's
I have
pretty
an
awesome.
Elvira. I have an Elvira action
You think
figure.
she's watched the Munsters? Maybe we can get her on here. That'd be an interesting interview.
Why wouldn't she have? I mean, she was literally in the last movie.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she watched it. She was just steeped in that stuff with her character.
I'm sure she grew up with the original Munsters for sure.
Oh, yeah, more likely.
Yeah. And at the
She'd be
time
a
that
cool
this was
person to talk
coming
to.
out, when this came out, like her career was booming, so I'm sure that she had like some kind of connection or viewability of it or something. Yeah.
I heard really good things about that comic we teased months ago with Grandpa on the cover with every vampire.
Mm-hmm.
I need to pick that up and read it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, reach out to her.
To Elvira?
Yeah. You got connections.
I'll bring her action figure on the screen.
I like how you turned to look at me like, how? All right. So Lance then meets Eddie, and they give a very hard high five. It reminds me of the Todd from Scrubs.
The Todd.
For those who never watched that show, he was a surgeon who almost broke everyone's hand that he high-fived.
And then when
Herman,
they wouldn't give him a high five, he'd high five himself.
Oh yeah, he would. His high fives were his thing.
Can't leave the Todd hanging.
He then introduces Lance to Grandpa, and Grandpa just gives him a weird face.
Mm-hmm.
He's so happy to meet the family Herman's been telling about at lunch. And at this point, I'm like, where's Marilyn?
Yeah.
And once again, every time I ask these questions, the show provides not long after.
Yeah. And then he talks about the 3-hour lunch break.
Yeah, he's like, I would have told you more, but you took off for 3 hours.
Yeah. And Grandpa's like, you had a 3-hour lunch break?
Yeah.
It's like, well, it wasn't really necessarily that. I was just like, I had to go over here, and then I ended up going there, and then I did this, and
I got pulled over by a cop, made to walk the line, got a swab test.
Herman's like, well, it would have been nice if you wouldn't have taken the hearse with you. And he's like, what if we needed an emergency body removal? He's like, well, I left my motorcycle there. And Grandpa's like,
body?
You use a motorcycle to transport a dead body? It's like, well, it's no problem. I got 2 helmets.
Oh, that was great.
Oh,
see, he's considerate.
Yeah.
So this is how we found out that he's got a part-time job at the parlor or a full-time job. We don't know.
He owns the joint. And then
after he doesn't go to school.
Yeah. After this, he's trying to get Eddie to skip school with him and do some stuff. I don't remember what were they supposed to do in this spot here?
He just wanted to go for a ride on the motorcycle, and Lance is like, well, just skip school tomorrow. I'll take you out.
Yeah.
And Lily goes over to Herman. She's like, hey, did you talk to Gateman about any of this? Like him leaving? Gateman didn't show up for work today.
Yeah.
First red flag. Well, no, I shouldn't say first. Him walking into their house was the first.
And then what is the line that comes before the next person runs in? I didn't write it down.
Yeah. Well, after Lily glares at Eddie, who declines.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, never mind. I can't do that. I have some people I have to beat up. And Lily doesn't look at him twice for making up this lie. She's just smiling like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then Lily's like, hey, do you want anything special for dinner tonight?
And in comes
Marilyn in a jogging outfit.
For some reason, she's jogging in the house. I don't get it.
Yeah, she didn't even come through. It would make more sense if she came in through the front door, but she came down the stairs.
Yeah.
Maybe she's getting ready to go out jogging.
I don't even think they show her coming down the stairs. They just show her run through past the stairs. They didn't even show her running down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
And
she's
Lance
doing
is,
laps. She's doing laps around the house because they
yeah,
couldn't afford a sidewalk.
she's following the moat. Yeah, needless to say, Lance is instantly enamored because that is Marilyn's power.
Yeah.
So Herman introduces them, and things get creepy.
He says something like I thought he was going to say it right when they
Oh,
asked
I
what he
have it
wants
written
to
down if
eat.
you want me to say it.
Well, she said, "What do you want to eat?" and then Marilyn runs in, I thought he was going to be like, "I'll take a piece of that." That's literally what I thought he was going to say
That's
because it
pretty
was.
much what he says.
What does he say exactly? Because I didn't write down exactly what he said, so I don't have it.
Oh, I didn't write that down either.
Because afterwards, he says something about some kind of
Oh,
food,
he
and then
says,
walks over to her.
I'll have anything you make as long as I can eat it out of her hands.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And then he walks over to Marilyn and tries to like hit on her while he's in his grave digging outfit.
Yeah. Herman introduces them, and Lance is like, "Oh, we've already met." And she's like, "We have? Where?" "In my most erotic dreams." And the eye roll from Marilyn sums up perfectly how gross this feels to watch.
Yeah, she should have slapped him.
Yeah, she should have.
What adults are letting a 17-year-old convict boy talk to their 16, 17-year-old niece like this?
Yeah.
Whether it's my niece or my daughter, hell, even if someone said that shit to my wife, they would be on the floor. Like, it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen, bro. Like, it's a lot. It's very disrespectful too. It's not even like it's a come on, like a hit on line or anything like that. Just the way the way he does it, especially in front
Yeah.
of
Well,
everybody.
it gets worse after that because he, asks her out and she turns
Yeah.
him down hard.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't know if that was a no or not, which is, if you know the viral thing going on right now, that is a great indicator of why this whole bear versus man thing is going on.
Viral thing.
You haven't heard that?
Mm-mm.
Would you rather be lost in the woods with a bear or a man? And women are saying bear hands down.
Some people didn't watch that Leo movie because guess what? The bear will do you too. He'll
You're talking about the meme. That wasn't in the actual movie. But no, that's not the point. Is people will believe it if it's the bear. That's the sad state of the world. But let's not dwell on that right now. That's depressing conversation.
I mean, if my wife was lost in the woods, she'd probably rather be with a bear too, because I would just be like, "Hey, you wanna, you wanna, you wanna." We have nothing else to do. Do you wanna?
Oh, Mike.
But that's my
I don't know
wife.
the
Like,
landmine you're stepping on right now. So we cut to a scene with Lily on the phone telling someone Lance isn't in right now. Here's the direct quote. "Well, Father, if he backed into your church with the hearse," and Herman, who was sitting on the couch, bolts up. Oh, he
he's
runs
like,
over the
you
phone.
did what?
He's like, yeah. He's "Father, the parlor will pay for all the damages. Bless you too." Yeah. He's like, "Look, I don't know if we did the right thing taking this kid on, Herman." And he's like, "Oh, look, he's improved tremendously over the past couple days." And
Mhm.
Grandpa agrees, saying he hasn't killed anyone yet before leaving.
As he
Uh,
walks in
yeah.
with a bag and a plunger in his hand.
A bag with a feather sticking out. He comes in, he's like, "Hey, I unclogged the toilet for you, and also took care of the parakeet."
No, he's like he at first he said, "I cleaned the parrot cage." That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
The bird cage. And
I'm
Lily's
like, they
like,
have
"Oh,
birds?
well, I don't have to do that anymore? Sweet. Like, you saved me, whatever." And then he's like, "Yeah, but then, like, I was using the vacuum and then I heard this squawking noise coming from the vacuum, so I quickly took the vacuum over
Yeah,
and
high
dumped it
pitched
into the."
swearing.
Yeah, and he's like, "And I dumped it into the commode," and I'm just like, "Why would you even think about dumping the vacuum into the toilet, basically?"
Yeah, let
And
alone the bird.
and did he flush it? Like,
he's, he's like, turns out the parrot was very emotionally disturbed by everything. So I went to grab him and he jumped right down the commode. And then he hands the bag of feathers to Lily.
yeah.
He's like, if it's any consolidation, it yelled, "I love you, Lily," right before it bought the farm. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, you are a serial killer. You no remorse.
Yeah. To be fair, Lily
Oh,
doesn't really react in a very emotional state either. She's just like more
she is
annoyed that it happened.
shocked.
She she yeah, she's probably like, "Damn it, we could have eaten that bird. Where's the body?" Like,
This is the first mention that she had a pet parakeet,
yeah,
and the last.
maybe.
And
We'll see if she gets another one.
Grandpa called it. He killed something.
But he didn't kill somebody. He killed something.
I love the fact that he noticed he sucked the bird into the vacuum because he heard it swearing at him.
Uh,
Do you
anyways,
think
Lance.
this would have
What?
been, I think, a better joke? Instead of a parakeet, it was a raven.
No,
Yeah, because then it
maybe.
would have been like a more callback to Edgar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Whatever happened to their cat that roared like a lion in the original series? It like just disappeared.
Yeah, it did. It didn't really. They
And their
just
cat's
stopped having
name
it on
was,
set.
what was their cat's name?
Kitty.
Kitty. Kitty cat. Kitty kitty.
I
Sorry.
really wonder if it was just someone on set and they got let go, so the cat went too.
So they just like added in sound effects later.
Yeah.
They're like, it's cat's here. Might as well. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
Lily
Lance,
wants
like,
this. You go ahead.
oh, go on. Go.
Well, I was gonna continue.
Okay.
Lily wants this boy out of the house, and Herman reveals he's already tried. Gateman has an unlisted phone number, and the secretary isn't allowed to give it out to employees, which is red flag number 4, because I'm counting him going in the house as 2 now. Uh,
Yeah. Well, he says, "Well, I
Lily
drove by Gateman's house and he left a sign out front. What did it say?"
sold.
Which
Red
I'm
flag number
assuming the
2.
market must be really good if he sold his house that fast, man.
I'm thinking he sold it before they dropped the kid off, and that's why he wanted him to stay there.
Maybe. Yeah.
So we
No,
come
he
back from
wanted
the
him to stay
commercial.
there is because he didn't want to be around his kid. Like,
Oh,
they
yeah,
say that
yeah,
later.
yeah. Yeah, literally. Say it. After the commercial break, Lance and Herman are standing by. Oh God, this scene by a funeral. It looks suspiciously in the graveyard, like the one from Lily and Herman's anniversary. Lance is
It
super.
does not. It looks completely different because they're by like a mausoleum and stuff in there.
You just move some things around.
Mm, I don't
Uh,
think so,
uh,
dude.
so Lance is very boisterously excited about how busy they are today. Herman's like, "No, shh, keep it down. So he asks Herman if he wants some Gatorade. And a dude at the funeral turns around to glare at him, and Herman just shushes him again. So Lance pulls out a burger and starts eating it before he's like, "Hey, you want some?" I'm not going to eat your burger.
I would.
I don't even like sharing food with my wife.
Oh no, I would just take it. I wouldn't have like waited for him to take a bite. I would just taken it from him.
Sharing food grosses me out.
If my wife will like take a bite of like my sandwich or anything like that, I have to have her make it look like there wasn't a bite taken out of it. Like I can't see that bite mark, in the middle. I just can't do it.
You are neurotic.
Yeah. And she knows it too, so sometimes she'll just do it on purpose, and I'm like, nope. I was like, I literally just can't eat it if I see the bite mark on there, because it's just disgusting to me. Even when I'm eating it myself, I won't leave the bite mark in there.
We'll share like something. Like we buy something new to try, or here you try it, I try it. Which one of us likes it more? Finish it. But
right.
If it's like a hamburger, no, you want me to make you a hamburger? That's fine. Don't bite my food.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. We're weird. You're
I
weird.
don't really look. I don't want to know. I don't want it to look like someone was eating my food. Okay. Like I have no issue with sharing like bodily fluids with my wife. We do it all the time. That's not the thing. So, I don't care if she eats my food. Just don't make it look like you ate my food.
Have you ever considered you might have a small dose of OCD?
Listen here. I know I do. It's not a consideration. It's I know. Okay.
So yeah, Herman yells at him no. And everyone turns to look at him. He's like, look, don't ask any more questions on duty. And so Lance notices the grieving woman, and he goes over. Herman tries to stop him, and he shrugs off his hand. He goes over there, and it looks like, as he's approaching her, he might be about to comfort her, but we as the viewer already know better. He starts hitting on her. Do you have the lines he uses?
No, I didn't write those down for this one.
Like, so, come here often.
Hopefully not, sir. Hopefully
then he's
not.
like, do you know this guy? Pointing at the casket.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, it was my ex. Or
my fiance.
My fiance, yeah.
We were going to be married on Saturday. He's like, oh, so that means you're free Saturday night. You want to go to the amateur night at the mud pit?
And he's like, what? She's single now.
Yeah, she tells him to get lost, and everyone's staring at him. He points at the coffin. She's single now. It says a few more things. Like, I feel like this scene went on a little too long. But Herman eventually tells him, go stand by that tree until the funeral's over, which the tree is right by the funeral, so you're not helping, Herman.
Yeah.
So as he's standing there, he knocks over his shovel, which hits the boombox playing the sad, remembrance music, changes the station over to hardcore rock. And it's just a disaster. So we cut back to home. Herman's getting off the phone. He finally tracked Gateman down. He's staying at the Lily Pad Motel.
Lily Pond.
Lily Pod, yes. I specifically put O. He's been a guest for a week.
Yeah, he's been a guest there for over a week.
Under a pseudonym.
I didn't write the name down.
Rabbi Quincy Baedeker.
And Lily's like, well, how did you figure it out? He's like, well, it's the only place in town that has adult movies, a waterbed, and a nice view of our cemetery.
Yeah. Lily At least he cares about
And
his business.
I
I'll give him that.
just assume he has like the honeymoon suite in there too. So his like bed's like a heart-shaped bed with a heart-shaped
Probably.
hot tub, and it's all pink and red. That's what I was envisioning as Herman was saying these things. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So Lily's like, take Lance to his father, get him out of the house. And he's like, hey, wait, can you like not? Because he's gonna take me to the movies this afternoon. And Lily's, can't you go by yourself? I can't go by myself. Why not?
Why not?
What kind of movie is this? And Marilyn starts laughing. What's the name of the movie, Mike?
Crap, where is it? I had it written down. Where'd it go? Oh, I swiped up too much. Sorry. In my notes. Where is it? 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 Oh, here it is. Confessions of a Voodoo Love Slave.
They're going to the adult theater, aren't they?
I assume so.
Oh, yeah. And
Did
Eddie's
you look
like,
up to see if this is a real movie? Because I did not, and I'm
I didn't either.
and hopefully I don't get some weird stuff.
You will. So as
The first thing I get is from the Oxford Academic. It says 3 love cults and white slaves in the 1920s.
But after Marilyn says
not
this,
Googling anything from the show ever again.
Eddie's like staying frozen. And he turns to look at her like, why?
Yeah.
Herman has had enough. He is getting this boy out of their lives. And Grandpa's like, well, what about your promotion? Mr. Gateman can shovel it.
Let's shovel it all. And then he's like, I'm not going to be bribed into accepting that behavior from a teenage boy, no matter how much money it costs. Which, good for you, Herman. Like, for real.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't, what is it? Don't sit on your laurels or something.
Respect yourself.
That's like, yeah, something like that. So Lance comes down to get Eddie for their movie, and Herman tells the kids, hey, get out of the room. I'm taking you to your father. And Lance is, you found him? Why are you shocked by this? Well, last time it took a bounty hunter a month and a half
to locate him.
Yeah, he was judging a Miss Nude Borneo contest. Gateman's a terrible person.
Yes, he is. And then after this part, Lance ends up taking Grandpa's seat and sitting in it.
Before that.
Oh, you got that?
Oh, yeah. That's during this. Yeah, because Herman tells him where his dad is.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. He loves that place.
He threw my 6th birthday party there. The look on Grandpa when he sits down. No.
He's so annoyed. Howard looks just so annoyed.
It's the only place around that still has an hourly rate.
Yeah.
So Lance stands up and Grandpa like takes his chair back. He's very territorial.
Mm-hmm.
I love I still go back to that very early episode where he gets busted by ice and he just takes the chair with him to the holding cell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know this too, like he's super territorial about the chair right now. And I'm assuming his lab is like under construction or something because they don't go to the lab once in this episode.
Yeah, well, they don't really have a need to.
He could have made up a concoction for
what?
something. I don't know, man. Listen here. To get the kid to act right. Like
Herman apologizes like, look, no, we're getting you out of here. I'm sorry. And Lance is like, no, don't worry about it. I'm used to it. You lasted longer than anyone has in years.
Yeah, he's like, nobody likes me, not even my family.
Yeah.
And then this is where
well, he asks Herman, he's like, you don't like me, do you? And Herman's like, I wouldn't say that. And Grandpa's like, I would.
Yeah.
Lily like smacks her dad, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And
And
Herman.
Lily's
Oh, go on.
well, she's like that can't be true. And
Yeah.
Lance mentions his grandma and how she tells all of her friends that she doesn't like him.
Yeah.
What a
Is
bitch.
well, and then Herman says, Lance, it's not that you're not a bad boy. You just have this talent for offending people.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, Grandpa's like, have you considered working in a post office? And I'm like, oh God, it's my aunt. So
Yeah.
Lance is like, look, I'm sorry for being a pain. Even when I want to stop, my hands and mouth just won't listen to my brain. Stay away from women. Uh
Having kids, I
Grandpa,
can guarantee you, I know what that feels like.
yeah, Grandpa's like Ronald Reagan suffered from the same disease. Herman asks, he's like, do you look? We should talk this over with your dad. Nah, Gateman won't listen to him the way Herman does.
Yeah.
Well, then he takes off to get his stuff, and Lily's like, he's just crying for attention. And Herman's like, yeah, except he isn't getting it from the one person he wants it from. And Grandpa's, yeah, the equalizer.
Grandpa's
Corporal
such a
punishment.
dick.
And he slowly goes back to his chair, too.
I think Grandpa's like in a way, I feel Grandpa's justified for some of the things that he says, because we found out like what, last episode or the episode before, that he raised Lily all by himself, so he had to be that parent that was there constantly taking care of his kids and stuff.
Yeah,
So
no, that's a good
to,
point.
to him, it's kind of like this guy's a dickhead, and he probably feels some remorse for the kid because he knows it's not necessarily the kid's fault, but at the same time, we all have to take responsibility for our actions at some point. And
Yeah.
17 is getting up there to where it's like, okay, dude, you're about to go into the real world soon. Like, you need to learn to control the way you talk and your actions, and actions and consequences, they matter. So I feel like Grandpa's justified in a lot of his attitude within this episode so far, for
Yeah.
sure, because of the fact that we do know that he was a single father for 300 and some years, so
No, yeah, that's very true.
yeah.
So Lily suggests that they should get Gateman back together, back over here, and reunite him with his son, and it will be just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
To dinner, where Herman is looking very unhappy and not wonderful. Man, I'm sorry.
Dying.
I don't know what's going on. I got like, I don't want to gross the listeners out. I got phlegm. That's a word everyone loves to hear. So everyone is eating in silence, with Herman looking around like, ugh. Lily comes out with more pickled head cheese. And Lance is super excited that he knocks his dad's drink over. And Herman's
Which
like,
just
go.
annoys him.
Yeah, all right, let's try to salvage this. Hey, Lance, let's share some of those ideas you had for the parlor. So his first idea: they keep one of the hearses on alert by Hang Glider's Cliff. Gateman cuts him off, complimenting Lily on how tender the turkey is. And Grandpa's like, that's moray eel. Gateman spits it out so hard it hits Eddie in the face. So Lily's like, okay, well, what's your next idea, Lance? So the next one, this one's great. Sponsoring a Russian roulette tournament.
They're bound to get somebody.
Oh, yeah.
So
Gateman,
Lance's ideas are basically like let's encourage people to die.
Yeah, let's take advantage of Darwinism. So yeah, Gateman leaps up to leave at this point. Lily's like, "Don't you have anything more to talk about? It's been 9 years." And Lance is like, "Nah, it's been 11." Gateman's, "No, 9. I remember. It's the day I got the pink DeLorean." And Lance goes, "No, it's 11. It's the time you took me on your date with the topless waitress." And Gateman's like, "I didn't know she was a waitress." He's like, "I know it's 11 because I'm still wearing the same underwear and socks." And Eddie now does not find Lance as cool as he once did and slides the hell away from him.
Oh. Also,
Well,
they snuck in 9/11 there. Just saying.
oh yeah, it is. They're putting the grand plan on screen.
Yep, they're getting it in there. They're setting it up, getting everyone used to it.
Yeah. That's stupid. Lily has.
I'm gonna let my Willie out. That sounds so wrong when I say it like that. Damn it!
You did it on purpose, and you know it.
No, it didn't.
Lily asks if his mom, like, does your mom take you shopping? And Lance is like, "What? She's in prison." Wait a minute. You told us she was a guard. They brush right past that. If your mom's in prison, who's been taking care of you? Oh, various people. What people? Well, they never tell me the right name. And Gateman tries to get him to shut up by saying, like, they don't want to hear about our problems. And both Marilyn and Grandpa are like, "Yeah, we do. Keep going. This is great."
I'm worried if they're not telling him their real names. Is he being put out on the streets? Like what's going on? Like, who's taking care of this kid?
I think they just don't want him finding their home in the address book or something.
I hope so.
Yeah, Gateman says, like, "Fine, let's hear about the one where you ran off with a 34-year-old divorcee."
38.
Divorcee. 38. And Eddie is super excited by this. Look, I fell in love with her because she was the only one who made me lunch.
Yeah. And by that
Sad
line,
and
I'm
funny
like,
at the same time.
yeah, and by that line, I'm kind of like, okay, so this wasn't a sexual thing. It was like a motherly type thing, right?
Yeah.
It
That's
has
what
to
it
be.
sounds like, but
Because 38 years old, I mean, that's older than I am right now. And yeah. And this was the time he ran off with her. So how old was he at that point? He was younger than 17. So yeah.
Yeah. And Herman's like, "Oh, this is super helpful. Air out some more." And then they turn on Herman. Gaben's like, "Fine. You're a pushy, manipulative idiot, Munster." And Lance's like, "You're a nice guy, but you're a chump." No. Each other, not me. They just straight up start roasting him.
Yeah.
So Lance is like, "I remember that puppy you rented me for my birthday." And Crips, "Rented?" He's like, "I didn't rent it for you. I bought it. It was just sick." "Well, why didn't you tell me that? How could I tell you the first thing I ever try and get you was sick with terminal disease?" "Look, you want to watch? I have a Rolex. I got a lot of them." Grandpa's like, "What do you think? He's Elizabeth Taylor?" Now, for those of you like me who have no idea who that is, she was the highest paid movie star in the 60s, and she was married like 8 times to 7 different dudes, and she passed away in 2011.
You know who Elizabeth Taylor was?
No.
All right, we need to start doing the history lesson of film for you.
know I don't know film people.
We're gonna start doing the history lesson of film for you. Instead of D&D Saturdays, it's gonna be history lesson Saturdays.
You try and stop D&D.
Oh, I will.
You
think the other guy was disruptive? Ooh.
Not so much disruptive. It just not great ideas. You try to fastball special yourself into a stone door. You think that's going to help? Anyway,
I could do it.
back to the show, which I literally have written in my notes because I knew you were going to go on a tangent. Gateman asks what would make Lance happy. Yeah. And Herman's like, well, why don't you try calling him more often? You know, the hearse has a phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Herman,
You can use
this
the
is when
hearse.
Gateman's like, I do actually call that often. And Lance says, you do? It's like, yeah. I hang up as soon as you say hello. I figure as long as I hear your voice, I know you're not in reform school. And Lance says, I always thought that was the SWAT team looking for Mom.
Yeah. And he's like, I was always afraid you just wouldn't like me.
Mm-hmm. And Lance is like, you're my dad.
Hey, Mr. Gateman, it's okay. I think my kids don't like me all the time. It's just a natural thing as a parent, you know.
Yeah.
I think
if they don't dislike you a little bit, you're not doing your job right.
Yeah. I think though
they shouldn't hate you though.
And it comes into play a little more here towards the end of this episode with Gateman, but he needs to treat his kid like a kid and not his friend, not his best friend, because he still needs a father. He doesn't
a problem to dump on other people.
Yeah. Lance still needs a dad and a father figure. He doesn't necessarily need another friend at the moment. He really does need a father figure. So
yeah, and Gateman's like,
I know there's a lot of people out there like, oh, you should be your kid's best friend, and I'm like, that's not your responsibility to be their best friend.
You can be friends with them while still being a parent, you know.
Well, a lot of parents try and do that, but then they treat their kids like their best friend, and then they're putting like an emotional stress onto their own kids that their kids aren't ready to accept yet.
That's like once they get older and independent from you, that's when you can move more into that territory because it's all right. Let's go do stuff. You know, we're buddies now. It's your life now. I can give you advice, but it's in your hands.
Yeah. But I see so many parents that are like, oh, you make me sad and you make me this. And I'm like, so wait, you're telling your child who's not even developed fully yet that you can't regulate your own emotions, so that they must regulate your emotions for you, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Grow the fuck up, people. Sorry. It pisses me off. Dude.
No, that's all true. Plenty of people out there who do that.
I know I'm trying to stop saying the F-bomb on the show, but just grow up, people. Stop putting all your crap onto your kids. Okay. Moving on before I get deeper.
Gateman's like, look, I'm not such a bad guy once you get to know me. And Herman pats Lance on the shoulder and says, neither is your son. So they brace in a hug. And Gateman's like, well, when's your mom get out jail? In February.
Next February.
Great.
So like a year from now.
Let's go to Rio. We could share stories about, what each other's been up to since you were 5.
Yeah. He's like, you can tell me everything that happened since you were 5 years old. Great. I'll start by telling you about the time I was pistol whipped by the crossing guard. It's like, what?
I forgot to write that down. I'm glad you did. Gateman's like, all right, great. First, I'm gonna buy you some socks.
Yeah. And as he's leaving, he's like, all right, Lily, dinner was different.
And Lance is like, how can I ever thank you? And Krampus says, send Lily a new parrot when you get to Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we get our final scene. Yep. Herman walks in and announces to Lily and Grandpa, there's a new foreman. And Lily's like, oh, congratulations. It's Harry DeSanto. Oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, nah. Gateman's daughter is going to live with Harry's family from Leavenworth. And they all start laughing.
moving in from Leavenworth. And I'm assuming they're talking about the Leavenworth prison because
Maybe
there
because there's
is a Leavenworth
also
town.
yeah, it's the same thing which
Yeah. So
they
I'm assuming that it's supposed to be the prison. I'm not sure.
yeah, they all start laughing, freeze frame, end of episode.
Yeah. Did you know this? Morton sits in that damn chair almost this entire episode.
Yeah, he does.
I had to write that down like right after the credits hit. I was like, he's literally in that chair, except for when he answers the door and
Dinner
when
time.
Lance steals the thing. But even there's there's a spot where when Lily's on the phone, when they're about to find out the hearse got hit the church, Grandpa's in another chair back over by the
In the
mummy.
background. Yeah.
I was
Oh
just
yeah.
like, did he have like knee troubles this episode or like something in his back or what? I guess we'll see on the next episode if they were shot in order, of course.
Yeah.
But he just sat the entire show. Maybe he was like, you know what? I don't have anything to do. I'm going to sit. Like,
Well, we gotta
I'm
have
gonna be
Grandpa
in the
around.
scene. I'm gonna be in the
It's the
scenes, but I'm
trio.
gonna sit. Yeah. Um. So I do want to address some things from my synopsis here, because they might have been not understanding the Eddie Voodoo Love thing. We got that because of the movie. Birdcage or sorry, headdress for bird parrot feathers. We get that. Then there was Grandpa's desperate bid to reclaim his seat off a chain of events that could end in sinking his teeth. So that was basically in regards to his chair being stolen for a minute. And the quarantine lab part, not in the episode at all. I just assume his lab is quarantined right now because he's not in it. Maybe that's why he's sitting the whole time. He's antsy. He's like, I just want to be in front of Sam and mess with Leonard. And yeah. Don't ignore me, man.
I'm not ignoring you.
I have been a very, very chill and holding back this episode on things I wanted to say. Oh crap. All right.
No, I've
I,
actually been. We talked actually a little bit after this one because we couldn't help ourselves, but I was very interested to hear your perspective as a father.
I think that some parents try and make things more difficult than they need to be within the parenting realm,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're a father or a mother. And it's kind of cool to see this episode come after the Once in a Blue Moon episode too, because I know we have one in between, but you had the Once in the Blue Moon, which dealt with the mother leaving and the mother not being there. And we didn't really see the repercussions that had on Lily herself, but we saw what it did to the husband
Yeah.
for Grandpa. But and then in this episode you see the neglectful father and stuff. And yeah, the mother's there. The mother was still mothering. She was just in prison. But then you
Yeah.
had this father who was not in prison, who's very successful and still neglectful at the same time. Like he
Yeah.
has all the means financially to take care of his kid, and yet he still doesn't. And it's not even necessarily like a lot of parents, like not a lot of parents. There are parents out there that end up leaving their kids' lives because they cannot financially take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel bad about it. But even those parents, I'm like, you know what? Your kid would probably rather have you than end up somewhere in like a system or something like that, guys, for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same
In most
time,
cases, some cases they're pieces of shit who shouldn't be near children or have children.
right. I'm just saying, like, their only reason is because they don't have the means to to financially
Yeah,
take care of.
I got you.
There's always ways to figure that stuff out. Uh, Even if you're not like fully in their lives, but you're still in their life. You know, like they live with somebody else, they're taken care of by someone else, but you still show up as their biological parent who wants to be a part of their life, you know. And then with this episode, I think that like Mr. Gateman is, like I said, he's successful in everything, but he just still neglects his kid. And for me, watching this episode, I don't even think it's because of any fear that he's going to be a bad father. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's more so of the fact that he does not want somebody holding him down from doing what he wants to do in his life.
He's selfish.
And he's selfish, yes. And I feel that's an issue, especially nowadays. I see it a lot more where you have more selfish parents. I'm like, y'all shouldn't have brought kids in the world then. You shouldn't have had the
No,
kids. Like you just
no,
you
we worked with someone who was like that. They went on vacation all the time, had 7 children, not lying, 7 kids.
yeah.
Didn't take them anywhere. Didn't care. It was their vacation.
Yeah. No, that's why you have family vacations. But yeah, so when I watched this episode, I was just like, it was funny the way that it was portrayed, of course. But at the same time, I was like, man, I'm really pissed at this character. Like, I did not like Mr. Gateman at all. Even at the end, when he's finally like, all right, yeah, let's do this. Mainly because of the fact that he wasn't turning into the father figure the kid needed. He was turning more into the buddy figure. You know, they didn't really have him evolve into a father by the end.
So I'm going to tell a story. Obviously,
Okay.
not going to name names, but
Yeah.
there's someone I knew who lived across the street from my dad. And I saw my dad every other weekend growing up, but he was a
Okay.
good kid. We hung out, really nice. His dad left to go meet, literally left his mom to go meet some woman in Florida he met online and was gone until he was roughly 16. He came back into town. Once he came back into town, he was the buddy dad.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I know I haven't been here, but here's a beer. He fucked up his kid's life so bad. Like, this dude went from being so nice, so compassionate, to being an alcoholic rage monster who picked fights with everyone everywhere.
Are you talking about the kid himself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, no, I'm the cool dad. Here's, and I'm not, obviously it's not just that, but he also introduced him to also hardcore drugs. But
Yeah. Well, there's a great I wouldn't say it's a great film, but there's a good movie that kind of portrays that aspect and stuff of like, now granted it was a little bit different because it was a kid raising a kid at the same time, but it was still like a buddy parent type thing. Was that Adam Sandler one, That's My Boy, where like the teenage kid or whatever
couldn't get
had
through
the
that.
baby. Yeah. It's good in the aspect that it shows like the stupidity and badness of treating your kid like your buddy, like their entire life growing up, rather than waiting until they're grown up to treat them like that. Like, and it's an issue too. Like I've had those problems too every so often. I'm like, I can't, but I remember I am the father figure, for myself. I am the father. Sometimes I say stupid crap, especially on the internet, and I just have to make sure my kids understand this is like a hyperbolic version of things. Like, don't do this, and I'm working more on it for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Especially as I get older.
I always
go on.
No, you finish your thought out.
I was gonna say, and I always try and make sure they understand, like, no matter how old you get, you're still getting older. Like, you're still going to grow up more. You'll
get
be
wiser,
and
learn more.
Yeah, you'll be 50 and realize, oh dang, okay, maybe this year I'm going to even grow more. Not like necessarily older, but more mature. You get more of an experience in
Understanding.
life and stuff. Yeah. An understanding of how the world and everything else works. And I had my first kid when I was my early 20s. I want to say 21 going on 22 or 22 going on 23, something like that. Um so I wasn't like super young like my mom was, but I also wasn't like I have enough life experience, I would say, to be like that perfect father. And again, I don't think there's such thing as a perfect father anyway. um yeah, I don't it's rough because you do as a parent want to, especially if you have like kids that like some of the same things as you want to treat them like your friend.
Mhm.
um but then you also have to set boundaries. If you're going to do that, be like, okay, so we're going to go to the movies and hang out. This is like a friend kind of thing, but also at the same time we're going to do things, and if you do something disrespectful, I'm going to treat you like you are my kid still, dude, because you're my kid
Yeah.
still. Like, I'm
Oh
here
yeah.
to teach you lessons, to teach you how to react and interact with the world once you move out of my house, because I don't want to raise little hellions and
Mhm.
bad people and all this other crap. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the buddy of mine whose life. I mean, he had a kid way too early, but he's got his shit
yeah.
together now. Just an update for anyone curious, but his dad being gone so long,
Mhm.
him being back, he was like, "Oh, I can finally make up for all those years." And I feel like instead of being the parent, the guy kind of took advantage of that. You
Mhm.
know, wanting to have a father in his life, and now he hates the guy because he realizes he's a piece of shit. But
Right. Well, you also get that aspect of the parents trying to live vicariously through their kids, and it's like,
yeah,
"Oh, if I have a kid and I'm doing stupid stuff I know I shouldn't be doing, I can just be
mm,
like, well, I'm doing it for my kids so they have the experience." I'm like, "No, dude, that's not how that works." Like, y
yeah. That's why
don't
I'm a little.
force your kids into stuff that y just because
Yeah,
you wanna do it, you know?
I'm a bit concerned for Lance's future just because, again,
Yeah.
it's the I want a father in my life, and the other guy's like, well, shit, I don't know what to do. Here's a beer.
Yeah, because he's already talking that, like, at the end, he's already talking about just, like, doing stupid stuff,
Yeah,
and it's almost like Mr. Gateman in this episode kind of needs his own father figure. Like, Herman should be the father figure to both of these people, to be
yeah,
honest.
and to me, this episode doesn't have a happy ending
No, it
because.
it it really doesn't when you think about it in the real world aspect of it. Like, yeah, and like sitcom stuff, it's funny, haha. They made up, they're gonna hang out now. Yeah, but how long does that last? How
Hmm.
long until the kid decides, well, this isn't what I want? Or
Yeah,
because he's 17 now in here, but when he gets older and he realizes, oh, my dad really screwed me up more, instead of telling me not to drink underage, he's like, oh, here's 5 beers, dude. Instead of telling me, I shouldn't be spending all my time at the strip club, he's like, "Oh, come here to the strip club, let's go." Or,
yeah,
all these stupid things, and instead of telling me, "Hey, maybe I shouldn't sleep around with 500 people," my dad's over here sleeping around with, like, 100 people here, married 20 times, all this and that. I'm just like, yeah, Lance's life does not look like it's gonna be a happy ending, to be
no,
honest.
he's gonna end up like Trevor on Ghosts. Uh,
Hey, Trevor's a good kid, though. He was good.
yeah, and Lance is a good kid underneath. He still made dumb decisions, trusted the
We
wrong
all
people.
we all make dumb decisions.
Not me. I'm awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah,
Everything.
but this
Ooh,
episode
yeah.
again, we're
Oh,
back to
yeah.
one with that gives us a lot to talk about, which is great.
Mhm.
It means another long episode for you listeners. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's I really like these episodes that make you think, in real world perspective, especially now that
Mhm.
we're older and have this life experience of seeing people in these situations.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
real interesting.
Yeah, I have a friend too who's I mean, his dad wasn't in his life, but his mom was.
Mhm.
Um, and she was that kind of like mom who was kind of like the party mom. Like if he wanted to have parties at his house, she would be like, "All right, cool, let's have a party at the house. Oh, you want alcohol at the party? Here you go." And you know, they're still in high school and stuff. And uh, truly, a lot of the stuff she did was illegal, and she could have got arrested for.
Mhm.
um Kind of like the stories you hear about like Hollywood moms and stuff like that, that like, oh yeah, here's like a bag of coke for your party with like high school kids, and oh, you want like, you know, all these college boys to come to your party, sure, why not? And uh,
Mhm.
that wasn't like to the extreme of his situation, but that's like kind of in the same realm of where his mom would just like, he wanted whatever he wanted, she would get him, even though she didn't have the means. She would just go to his father and get money from him. So his father was still technically giving him the lifestyle that he was living under the guise of his mom doing everything. But his dad didn't know what the money was all going towards. You know, he just thought it was going to help raise him as a child. And when I say like his father wasn't in his life, I mean like his father just lived in a different city and stuff like that. So he was still a part of his life. He still saw his kid and everything, just not every weekend type of deal, like custody or anything like that. And seeing him now as a person, like he's grown up, and I worry sometimes because he has kids, and some of the things that his kids do, and you can tell like a lot of the free living kind of lifestyle that he got as a child kind of screwed them up a little bit with the way he can talk. He doesn't really talk with what was a good way to say this? He doesn't really talk well, I guess you would say. Like he tries to use words that don't mean what he thinks they mean whenever
Mhm.
he uses big words. And even some of the small words when he puts them together do not go together very well. So he sounds very uneducated in those aspects of the English language, and he's born and raised in the States, and that's the only language he knows. So it's not like it's like a broken English type of thing. Um, so you see that, and then like different aspects of like basic knowledge that most of us have as people, he doesn't have, because instead of learning those things, instead of being taught those things by his parents or trying to seek those out, he was constantly given this party kind of lifestyle as a kid. Um, and never really had that discipline put into his life. So therefore, growing up and then having kids of his own, they're starting to have that aspect put into their lives as well. And I worry about it sometimes for him, because I do like him. He's a good friend of mine, and um, I've had talks with him to try and be like, "Hey, do you want to do this with your kids? Like, what do you what's your plans type stuff?" I was like,
Yeah.
because you and I'm always trying to make sure that he's not doing the big party stuff and going out and buying liquor for his, you know, underage kids, very underage kids, I should say, um, and all that fun stuff. I'm like, dude, you have to be the parent. You have to be prominent in their lives. Yes, you are there, but you also have to parent. You can't just be the best friend that's like, woohoo, let's go on the road trip and do everything you guys want to do and go broke and not teach you nothing about life.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that was a long, very long winded thing about one person. But uh
Yeah.
I think the same thing. I think that's how Lance is going to end up though in this show though, man,
Mhm.
because it doesn't seem like Mr. Gateman wants to change at all, other than the fact that he's finally allowing his son into his life
Yeah.
after 11 years, you know. So basically, he last saw his kid, what, he's 17 now, so he saw him when he was 6.
Yeah, well, he asked all the stuff that's happened to you since you were 5, so
Yeah, so 5. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But
and 5 years old, like I remember when my youngest was 5 and my other ones were 5. So, I mean,
whoa,
that amount of time is a lot of time that you missed out in their life, you know, to
yeah,
try and be like to try and recoup that and still be the parent. And those are those prime years too, I feel like from I guess from birth to like 18, 19, 20 even is where parents should still be parenting. Like I know a lot of kids, a lot of people are going to be like, when I turn 18, I'm moving out. I'm going to be on my own. I'm like, I'd like to see you try and live on your own right now in this economy. Like there ain't no way
yeah,
you're doing it unless you got a really good job. Um, but yeah, like I feel like those are the age gaps from birth to like at least 2021 is where parents should still be continuously parenting. Like if you're living
mhm,
in my house, you have to follow these rules. I don't care if you're 18 or not. I don't care if you're in college or not. It's like you're here, you're not paying any rent. That's fine, but you still have to abide by these few rules. It's not like there's a
mhm,
lot of rules unless it's your friend, like you were saying before, who had to be in house by lights on and got locked out. If not,
yeah,
which is kind of messed up.
yeah.
I haven't
But
gone to that extreme. But again,
uh,
take it as a grain of salt, guys. Like if you are parents out there, I'm not trying to critique anyone's parenting or anything like that. It's just in regards to like how a lot of people want to be buddy buddies with their kids rather than parent them and stuff. Because I know everyone has a different way of parenting. I parent way different than my parents parented me. Um, just because I don't want my kids to end up like me. So, like, I understand my defects in society. So,
mhm.
Ian Tivis is like, yep, I can't ever get him to shut up.
That should be the goal of any parent, though, is wanting their kids to be a improvement.
Yeah,
You know,
it's the next Apple version, it's the next Apple phone. Sometimes it's an improvement, sometimes it's a little slower.
sometimes it's got features for no apparent reason. Uh, yeah,
Sometimes it
yeah.
looks uglier, sometimes it looks better. It just depends.
I
Wait, are we
knew
still
you
talking
would
about
have
kids or Apple phones?
a deeper insight into the theme of this episode than I would understand. So
Yeah, and I mean, I'm holding back from saying certain things because I don't want to bring up very specific
personal,
things and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, so but there's always different avenues to look at this, guys, and just know that Mr. Gateman in this series, as of right now, unless they recast him, is a piece of crap. Like he is not a good human being. He is not a good father. And then we don't even know what his relationship is to his daughter, as his daughter is now going to live with another person
yeah.
from his place. So
No,
I'm like,
no
wait,
mention of her at all until the very end.
yeah, but then it's like, okay, wait, so you had this revelation to do more stuff with your son, but not your daughter because you're sending her off to do the exact same damn thing that you just did. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It's like there's no actual um resolve for Mr. Gateman at all. And we
No,
can only hope that moving forward in
Lance
the
wisens up.
Lance, yeah, hopefully Lance like gets wise or learns from the mistakes that his father is making. He realizes he'd be like, "Oh, I remember living with the Munsters that one time and this is how a father should be versus how my dad is acting right now." So,
Yeah,
and I think that would actually be a good way to look at it too, because like I grew up living with multiple, not that my parents were like super bad or anything like that, but I grew up in and stayed with some friends for periods of time too, certain times in my life, or my grandparents and all that. So learned from different dad figures, I guess. So it wasn't just one culminating father figure. It's kind of like, it takes a village type of thing.
mhm.
And I think that wouldn't actually be too bad of a thing to get back to, is because a lot of people just, it's like a mom and a dad raising 100 kids or whatever. And the people forget, it does take more than just two people to raise a kid. It really
Yeah.
does. I mean, throughout my childhood, I was around way too many adults that it probably screwed up my personality to the point where
Which one?
exactly. Whatever. I do what I want.
He's quoting the shirt he's wearing today for audio listeners.
Yeah, but final words on the episode though for yourself, dude. Like, what are your final words or final
Yeah, I
thought?
can mostly just. I mean, I shared the couple anecdotes I had about
Mhm.
people I know. So it's, mine is mostly going to be about the show itself.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
Oh wait,
Grandpa.
well, hold on before you do that. Let me just say, I did enjoy the episode. I think it does
Oh
teach
yeah.
some good stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Lance does specifically say, or they do specifically say to Lance, hey, maybe you should watch things that you say. I think that needs to be taken into the thought process of every human being out in the world, because just because we have the freedom to say whatever we should want doesn't necessarily mean you need to say everything that comes to your mind.
No, and you need to accept reactions either with you or pushing back against you. That's
Yeah.
going to come with anything you say ever. And if you can't handle that, maybe don't open your mouth.
Like I always try and tell my kids, actions have repercussions. Talking is an action. So there are
Oh yeah.
repercussions to the things that you
Oh
can
yeah.
say. Like I'm not gonna be that person who's like, oh yeah, everything I say is perfect, because I know I say stupid crap all the time.
Speak for yourself.
So Tivis, he says the most crazy things. He goes on the internet and just like, no. But anyways, yeah, I did
Sometimes.
enjoy the episode as a whole. It's like you said before, it is a good talking or jumping off point to dive into a parenting
Yeah.
aspect or talk. So I think that's good. I didn't, like I said to you yesterday morning, I wanted to get my family to watch this episode. I didn't get that because they started watching Evangelion, or even whatever it was
Ugh,
last night. So we didn't do that, but I do want to get them
not
to
a
watch
fan.
this episode. Yeah, I didn't realize there were nude boobs in that show.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's yeah.
And
But
my wife's sitting there watching it with the kids. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I mean, you guys watched Friday or Halloween, all those movies.
with our older, but our younger one was in the room, and I was like, yeah, no, he's not doing this. So
Yeah.
yeah.
People
Anyways,
love that show. I don't care for it.
I
Anyway,
like the
yeah,
Ava
back to this
units,
show.
the toys. I like the toys from the Ava units. Anyways, but yeah, so your final
Gundam's
thought.
better. Gundam's the best superior mech show.
I told him last night, the best kaiju robot thing ever created is Power Rangers.
Can't disagree. I don't have
Yeah,
a
see?
I have a themed shirt on, but anyway, getting
All right,
back
yeah,
to this
final
show
thought.
finally. Uh, yeah, the script was really well done. You actually, the emotion of what has been done to Lance comes through in spades. The acting in this is superb. Like, you don't get this other than the really creepy shit with Marilyn.
Yeah.
You don't get the sense that he is a bad person. He just is oblivious.
Well, I would also think too, the stuff that comes out with Marilyn and the girl at the cemetery, I think that's a repercussion of things he saw his father do with
Yeah, I mean,
like
he was
the
there on a date with a topless waitress.
right. So I
What
feel
else
those
did he
are
see
like
that day?
low repercussions of that, because people forget, even though the kid was only 4 or 5 or 6 years old, those things stick with them.
It gets absorbed in the brain.
And we don't even know how other men in his life treated his mom too.
Oh yeah.
So
But yeah, the writing, the acting, just superb. I like the dynamic of, okay, let's take this kid in. He's driving. Herman continues to surprise me because every time Lily's like, "All right, I've had enough. Let's do something," he's like, "I tried already," without telling you. I feel like this is like, oh yeah, we didn't have that on the whole time.
yeah, I forgot to turn that on the video. Sorry guys that are watching the video.
Oh well. You put all that work into it. It's nice looking too. For audio listeners, he has the show episode titles at the beginning now, or on the screen now.
On the screen.
But yeah, all of this was really well done. I love the fact that Lily's like, well, let's get them together and force them to communicate, and it's the most awkward moment in the episode.
Yeah.
Well, not the most awkward because the whole Maryland thing, but tension-filled scene in the episode. And even the Maryland thing, we keep saying, like, that is, guys do that. They act that way. They think that way. They shouldn't. And Maryland's reaction to it is right on the money.
So
like, don't be sleazy.
It's interesting too, because I could say, like, I know guys that do crap like that, and I've even, like, I've never been that guy that's done that to girls that I'm not already with, like, I'll say stupid crap and pick up lines, or hey, you wanna, to my wife all the time. We've been together for going on 15 years of marriage, just the marriage itself. So, I think it's warranted. And some people might say, well, you can't say those things even to your wife. It's sexual harassment. I'm like, it's only sexual harassment if she doesn't like it. Oh, sorry.
I don't know how to comment on that, but everyone's relationship is unique.
But no, like, yeah, like I've never talked to a woman in such a weird way like that before, especially like if I've never met them. If it's like my first time, and it's not even like a Playboy type of thing. It's just weird. I don't know, man. No. It's almost like the guys that go up to the girls that they don't know on the dance floor and just start grinding on them for no reason. I'm like, what are you doing?
No.
That's just so disgusting. Like, and it's
I
so
was
disrespectful.
I was listening to a podcast about the 2018 Power Morphicon, which is a Power Rangers convention. Yes, I'm bringing them back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One of the ladies on there is like, your pickup line at a themed convention shouldn't be, hey, do you like this thing that this whole thing is based around? It's like, there's some people out there that just do not have, and I know I'm one. Thank God I'm locked down, because I would not survive in this world. As gross as it is to watch on screen, it is nice that they include that kind of stuff to represent, the actual stuff that does happen. Stop being creepy to women.
Or guys. Girls are creepy to guys too sometimes, dude. Like, it's not even just a gender thing.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Because I had girls before, like, do weird things. I'm just like, because you said that? No. Like,
you're gonna chop me up in my sleep, aren't you? Yeah. No, it's like every bit of this one felt like it had a purpose. I'm a bit worried the fact that he killed their parrot and showed zero remorse. That is not a great
sign
for him.
Yeah.
Especially now with his father at the end. But,
oh no, it's definitely not good either, because they own a mortuary. They could just get rid of bodies, bro.
I mean, one of his ideas for the parlor was to literally have people kill themselves. So
he could literally be the best serial killer ever, because his dad owns the mortuary. He could just take the bodies in there and burn the shit, or just bury them with another body. Oh my gosh. Did I just give people ideas? I hope not.
I don't think they're gonna.
I
That's
hope
gonna
none of
work
our
out very
listeners
well.
are
A
serial
lot
killers.
of a lot of mortuary workers are getting in trouble for some very screwed up
Well, see,
stuff right now.
when I know at the places when you burn the bodies, like you have to have paperwork, regulate all that crap too done. So when you do it, you just get rid of your victim's body when you have an actual body too.
Oh, mixing the ashes. That's
Yeah, and then when you give the person their family's ashes, they're getting like part of some random person. Oh man.
this episode is getting away from us in L forms, but I liked every aspect of it. I
Just
felt
so
like it had a purpose.
I just want to put out there, just so YouTube and then wherever else this streams knows, I do not condone serial killers.
We have to legally say serial killer bad. Yeah,
Just
no,
wait till you
I
can't
like
say
this one
serial
too.
killer anymore.
I enjoyed this episode as well.
Yeah.
We
This
are
episode
all
was
over the
good.
damn place. This is going to be a packed episode for you listeners, so I really hope
Well, I hope you guys
enjoyed it.
enjoy it. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely enjoy it. So what are we talking about next week, dude?
I don't have it. We're having a
Boom.
reunion.
It's a reunion.
Oh,
Well, you're-
please let this be the one where we meet Grandpa's sisters. I've wanted that since he mentioned them.
Yeah. I'm going to say a reunion. Well, it's gonna be a reunion. We have to know that. But I'm going to feel that it's cast members that we've never seen before, or yeah, characters that we've never seen before. At least within this show. Maybe we get a Herman brother thing, like one
I
of his
was
twins.
thinking Marilyn's parents.
We always want to see Marilyn's parents. We never get to see them.
Well, we saw them in the movie.
Which movie?
It was Mr. Jekyll and the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, how come we don't have a picture of her family anywhere?
They don't have pictures of anyone other than that one portrait hanging.
Well, they have like pictures of all of them on the mantle, the fireplace mantle.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've never paid attention.
It's usually you can see them during the mealtime. Lily, you always see Lily's photo there.
I haven't seen the napkin holder in a long time. Where's our damn hands?
Maybe the napkin holder was that coming out from underneath the table, and that was that arm that was attacking that guy before.
Yeah. I mean, it's as plausible as anything else. But I agree. It's definitely got to be a family member.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
those are my two guesses.
I'm gonna say like a Herman brother, just because it was such a prominent thing before that he had
we
a
got
brother.
his brother and a cousin. No, actually, that was Joanna. Why do I keep saying his name wrong? Jonah was also a brother of his, wasn't he?
It was Johan, wasn't it?
Johan, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, technically a brother. They were all technically brothers. Yeah. In some weird fashion, because somehow Dr. Frankenstein he found 3 identical heads, so there was triplets somewhere. Yeah. Cool story, bro. Anyways, guys, thank you guys all for listening though for this longer episode. We hope that you guys did enjoy this randomness of chat after
the damn place.
All of it. Definitely, if you are enjoying that, please let us know. We like to know whether we should continue doing some deep dives into it or some more serious talk, as some would say, quote unquote serious talk. If not, let us know. That way we can gauge whether or not we should cut some of that down. We like doing it though, so at least I do. I don't know if Tivis does. Tivis worries too much about what might be said. Anyways, guys, Tivis, any final words for today? You there?
Thank you.
All right. Well, with that said, guys, we will catch y'all next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. Or you can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.